Welcome to Money Making Conversations. It's the show that shares the secrets of success, experienced firsthand by marketing and branding expert Rushion McDonald. I will know he's given me advice on many occasions, and in case you didn't notice, I'm not broke. You know he'll be interviewing celebrity CEOs, entrepreneurs, and industry decision makers. It's what he likes to do. It's what he likes to share. Now it's time to hear from my man, Rushion McDonald. Money Making Conversations. Here we go.
Welcome, everybody. Money Making Conversations is participating in the Voorhees College Stream-a-Thon. The goal for the Stream-a-Thon is to raise $1 million for the college during these unusual pandemic times. We're trying to get the word out nationally. That's why the show is airing today. We'll let people know about our event, my show, Money Making Conversation, which airs every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on WVCD, 96.5 FM and 790 AM. We are the hype machine, and we're letting everybody know because December 1st is the day. The actual Voorhees Stream-a-Thon is taking place Tuesday, December 1st. I got another familiar face. Guess who's been on my show, Money Making Conversation? He's a graduate, HBCU man, Morehouse graduate, Bakari Sellers. He recently stated, and I watched this on CNN, The Situation Room, and it made me laugh. The Joe Biden presidency is not built for Snapchat. It's not built for Twitter. It's built to govern. This is my man. He states it because he's been doing it for a long time. He made history in 2006 when at the age of 22 years old, he defeated a 26-year incumbent state representative to become the youngest member of the South Carolina state legislature and the youngest African-American elected official in the nation. He's a man. He's special. The roots are most influential African-American male. He practices law with the Strong Law Firm in Columbia, South Carolina, and is a political commentator. Like I stated earlier, I saw him on The Situation Room. Please welcome back to Money Making Conversations, my man, Bakari Sellers. How you doing, Bakari?
Man, I'm happy. It's good to be here with you, my brother. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for letting me join you as we uplift Voorhees College.
Oh, it's awesome. You know, to make that statement, it's not built for Snapchat, it's not built for Twitter, it's built to govern. What motivated you to make that statement there, Bakari?
Well, you know, I was thinking about how many times the president-elect or president of the United States, whichever term of art you want to use to describe him, gets some criticism for, trying to bring people together. And he gets some criticism for his diligence and his discipline. But we recognize now that discipline, that diligence, it pays off. And so while on Twitter and Snapchat and social media, everybody and their mama want to tell him what he should be doing, his strategy has worked thus far. And so sometimes you just have to have faith.
And faith is, I'll tell you, when Biden won, my faith has been tested based on what President Donald Trump has been doing. When you look back on this, and it's not over because the man has over 80 million social media followers, over 72 million people voted for him, so he's not going away. If anybody thinks he's just going to drift away, they're crazy. So what do you think about the legacy of Donald Trump from your perspective, from your viewpoint? Not counting this year. I
think it's still yet to be written. I think that history will not look kindly upon him. The most amazing part about how history treats you, you don't get a chance to write it yourself. It's others who will be able to. You don't write your own obituary. In the script, not in the scripture, but in the church, they say, "May the work I've done speak for me." Right. So the work he's done will speak for him, and I think that the everlasting stain of bigotry and xenophobia and racism is going to be hard to escape. But I don't think as you said, he ain't going nowhere. No. And Trumpism is going to hover over American politics, in particular the Republican Party, for a long time. And so we'll have more time to be able to flesh out what that really means.
And it's really crazy because of the fact that he, I don't think he cares about anybody. That's just my personal opinion. Not trying to get you to share that idea.
He cares about himself.
Yes,
he cares about himself.
Yeah, and that's really what motivates him to the point of being able to be as divisive as he is. Now, Denmark is the location of Voorhees, where we're hosting the Voorhees Stream-a-Thon, where we're trying to raise $1 million. The event is December 1st. Tell us your relationship with the Voorhees College and its presence in the Denmark community.
So, I'm from Denmark.
I know. I'm from I read the book, remember? I read the book. Know about your dad.
I'm from 1.3 miles away from Voorhees College. I used to break into the gymnasium over there at Voorhees College. I used to go swimming during the summer in the swimming pool at Voorhees College. My dad was president of Voorhees College. I went to church at St. Philip's Episcopal. But during this time of COVID, this is a moment that's even more important than previous moments, because when PWIs and white institutions catch the cold like they have now, Black institutions catch the flu. And so what we're seeing right now are these institutions where they're not able to have students on campus really need these dollars and resources. And so, like King said, not just the I have a dream speech, but that fierce urgency of now. This is a really, really important moment for this institution to make sure that it not just survives, but thrives going into 2021 and beyond.
Well, Vice President-elect is an HBCU grad, Howard University. Do you think that's important for the HBCU brand, the HBCU alumni, to have someone in that power position? Because HBCUs are always struggling to find their voice financially. Donald Trump, when he signed into law or the budget in September of 2019, said he did more for HBCU schools than anybody had done in history. What can Kamala Harris do, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, do for HBCU schools moving forward?
One big example, making sure that there is no question about the value of the HBCU experience. And always look at Kamala Harris and see that as a Howard grad, she's now in the room. She is one step away from being, or one breath away from being President of the United States. So that's first. Right. Second thing is, it's always about that shared experience, because she's lived that experience. She knows how to bring that to the table. And you know this better than most. Anytime you have a bad Black woman at the table with you, you're stronger for it. And so I think that we're going to be stronger for having her there.
And it's really, when you look at the whole situation now, you were born and raised in South Carolina, but you went to school in Atlanta, Georgia in particular. So now we have a very interesting Senate race that's going down between the Democrats and Republicans, where 2 seats can create an imbalance or balance in the Senate. And then also, but I want to go back and when Joe Biden was scuffling, when he got whipped real bad in Nevada, and then he came to South Carolina, and he calls him his friend, who came to his rescue. Let's talk about how important that was, and will his friend, that's James Clyburn, play a role into the upcoming administration of Joe Biden?
Well, I don't think Jim's going to D.C. Jim is 80 years old. He ain't trying to go up there and work that hard. So no, I don't. After losing, I came in second in Nevada, but losing Iowa and New Hampshire, that it became that much more important. And he was going to win South Carolina. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, my mama and daddy and all of them were going to vote for Joe Biden. They had the relationship with him. He still had the Obama halo from working with them for 8 years. But because Jim came out in a forceful way that he did, it became resounding. And I think that resounding effort catapulted him through Super Tuesday and beyond. And this is a part of the media's fault. I'm like, you can't dictate who's going to be the winner of the primary until you actually have Black people to vote, because ain't no Black people vote in Iowa and ain't none vote in New Hampshire. But as soon as Black people did vote, then you saw what happened.
Now, when you looked at, speaking of voting, we see there's another recount going on in Georgia. Now, this is a machine count. They did the hand count. Now it's a machine count. We saw one person abstain from voting when it came to the certified to vote in Michigan. We always hear the word democracy. What damage has President Trump conjured up? Or the possibilities? What has he done to the system that we all took for granted, that we saw that it can be altered by or manipulated?
I think we have to review that, because we're focusing on human beings. We're focusing on, like in Michigan, we were focusing on Republicans having a good heart, and one of them did. Right. But do you always want that to be the case? So, these are norms, and we need to make sure that we crystallize these norms and put them into law. If not, then our democracy is right to be overtaken. But it held up, and it held up with Donald Trump. I don't think we're going to have anybody nearly as bull and China shop as Donald Trump, but it held up through his presidency. So democracy wins and lives another day.
Wow, it sure did. I'm talking to Bakari Sellers. We are talking about the goal of the Stream-a-Thon to raise $1 million for the college during these unusual pandemic times. You know, this is Voorhees. December 1st. That's Tuesday, December 1st, when it will be the actual Stream-a-Thon. Today is our hype show. Getting the word out, letting everybody know. Today is Sunday, but Tuesday, we need your money on Tuesday for the Stream-a-Thon. It's called the Voorhees Stream-a-Thon. If you know anything about the college, it's based in Denmark, South Carolina. It's an incredible school. It's a member of the HBCU family, and we're trying to get the word out. You'll see on this show, Joe Marie Payton is on this show. You'll see Don Lewis is on this show. And right now, my man, Bakari Sellers is on this show. Bakari, this has been an interesting year for me, an interesting year for you. We went through the pandemic, and we went through civil unrest. And let's talk about the pandemic and how it impacted you and still impacting us all, especially African Americans, before I get to the civil unrest.
Yeah, no. And I'll be at the Stream-a-Thon on Tuesday. I'll actually be in Denmark for about 30 minutes or so. So please tune in. Make sure you give if you can. Mm-hmm. You know, this pandemic, it ripped the head off the inequalities that we have in the communities, especially when it comes to Black and brown folk. Mm-hmm. The lack of access to quality care. You know, the fact that the Black folk are dying at disproportionately high rates compared to their white counterparts. Mm-hmm. Black businesses are shutting down at a disproportionate rate compared mm-hmm. to their white counterparts. And so with all those things being said, I just think that this is a time that we have to fight through it together and hopefully get some government assistance as we're moving through. And hopefully that's one of the first things that the Biden-Harris administration does.
Will it happen, though, with the divisiveness? You know, we know there's Democratic lead in the House. Now we're looking at these two seats. It could be 50-50, and the tie is being broken by our Vice President-elect, Kamala Harris. It could be 52-48. And then you have a problem getting people approved in the Biden cabinet. You got getting people approved, a potential, don't want to say anybody could pass away, another potential Supreme Court justice. Politics have become left and right. That I was talking to my wife. I go, when did it become left and right? When it became the left side, the radical left, the right? When liberal became a bad idea? Did Donald Trump just pull the scab off of something that was just simmering there that make it seem like the left is a problem, the right is the right? That really the bothers me the most is that whole campaign that there's some radical. I'm looking at the commercials down here in Atlanta. They're not even, the Republicans aren't even running commercials about what they're going to do. They're just screaming about Pelosi, screaming about Schumer. They're screaming about the radical left. What they're going to do, they're going to bring down America. Where did this come from, Bakari?
Well, it's a combination of Trump. It's a combination of social media. It's a combination of 24-hour news cycles. And it's a combination of awful people running for office. Right. Mm-hmm. I always tell people that you got to stop telling people what you're against and begin to tell people what you're for. Mm-hmm. We just have enough of that. And you see that down in Georgia with the negative ads that are playing. And so will it get better after Trump? Yeah. But will it still be hard to push forth an agenda that's good for the country? Yeah. That's why Georgia's so important. So anybody listening down in you got relatives in Georgia, get on the phone, make phone calls, do everything you can because those two seats are that important.
Yeah, and because what I've told people before, the Republicans are interesting because last year, several years ago, when Ossoff, he had gotten into a runoff and it was 48%, and Karen Handel, she had only gotten 18%. Well, when the official election came through, she won 51-48. His number didn't really even move. His percentage stayed the same, and so that's what happens. The Republican Party really goes out into the rural community and have a stranglehold on that voice, and that's where the Democrats have to get out there. I know that Stacey Abrams has played a major role in that. Do you think she's going to have a role in the Biden cabinet, a Biden presidency run the next 4 years? I'm not saying she's going to have a cabinet seat.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. Stacey's running for governor. So, chalk that up. I can tell you what that's going to happen. So go ahead and chalk that up. She's running for governor. She's already running now. She's running for governor in 2022. So, go ahead and chalk that up. Stacey did the work. Mm-hmm. And so, she flipped Georgia blue. And so, she has the ability to run. She's going to raise the money. She's going to make it a local race. And we'll see what happens. Well,
I'm going to wrap up on this thought about the, I saw you on TV in regards to the civil unrest tied to how the treatment of black men. I saw what Van Jones did when Biden won. And I know that when that weekend when all the marches was going on, a lot of my white friends called me, and they basically apologized. They basically said I didn't know. They basically asked me, "Is it real? Do you live a life like that where you don't feel safe, that you don't feel comfortable, that you walk in a room and you feel that people are looking at you not because of what you can do or what they think that you might do and it might be wrong?" I said, "Yes, that's my life every day as a black man." And it really was compelling to see your reaction and see Van Jones' reaction because of the fact that we know as black men that it's not going to change. I'm still going to be perceived by a group of people as a negative image. I'm still going to be perceived that I might be selling crack if I get in a good car. I think that's the reason that you and I are participating in this program, because although we acknowledge the harsh realities of our experience, we also have to have faith and hope in the future. And, the reason we're helping Voorhees is because it gives young black men like you and me an opportunity to have dreams of the future and go out and when we have to tear down these stereotypes and rip them apart. So, yeah, it was an emotional summer. It's a hard summer because I raised little kids. And we just have to make sure that whatever we're doing, we are an example for them and we continue to destroy these stereotypes. And one of the ways we do that is by giving back. And by one of the ways we give back is to participate in programs like the one we're doing and making sure that Voorhees College not just survives, but thrives. Thank you. Bakari Sellers, thank you for being a part. I know you're going to drop by live on Tuesday for about 30 minutes during the live Stream-a-Thon, but today is hype day for the Voorhees College Stream-a-Thon. We're trying to raise $1 million, everybody. Tuesday be the official day to start making the donations. Thank you, Bakari, for coming on Money Making Conversations. Stay strong, and I appreciate you, man. Don't change.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a great day. I won't.
Appreciate it. If you want to hear more Money Making Conversation, please go to moneymakingconversation.com. I'm Rushion McDonald. I'm your host.